everything to take your Thanksgiving feast from ordinary to extraordinary. We're going to have so much fun today, starting with Leanne Allaire-Perreault. Come on in here. Oh my gosh. For me? Now, part of what we want to do with this entire show is sort of to talk about some of the rules when it comes to Thanksgiving. We're not going formal. It's not going to be stuffy. However, there's a reason why we think about etiquette and place settings and all of these things we used to do. Things have gotten very casual over the years.
Exactly.
So let's go back to why we place the fork and the knife in a certain place and which spoon we're supposed to use. You're going to give us some rules here.
I am, and I think you absolutely hit the nail on the head. We've moved so casual, which I think we should still embrace that.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there's something so beautiful about the tradition, regardless of how informal your table setting is. If you use your everyday kitchen dishes for Thanksgiving, no problem, but it's how you set them can set the stage for that, really celebrating a great tradition. And doing this show got me really thinking about Thanksgiving in general. And I realized it's actually the one holiday where we actually truly celebrate one another and we gather. There's no gifts, it's no focus on chocolate.
Yes.
It's all about the family.
Hold on,
and
there's
being
no
thankful.
focus on chocolate?
Well, maybe at your house.
Thanksgiving.
Chocolate turkey?
I love it for that reason. I love the idea that it's all about thanking, like being grateful and having gratitude. But I also like the fact that it's basically a food holiday.
Which is why the focus is the table.
Yes.
Which is so important. So as the family gathers together, I think one of the most important things we can do when we're talking about taking it back to tradition and maybe old school, if you will, is ditching technology.
Oh,
because that has been the biggest detraction from the face-to-face conversation. This is one of the few times of the year where we're face-to-face with hopefully loved ones, by choice or otherwise. So why not make the most of that? So I saw this on Pinterest. You know, I love Pinterest. And I was like, I have to share this because I think that this is genius. Shoe rack. Hang this up in your closet.
Yeah.
When guests come over, you check their coat because it's chilly weather, but you make a phone check as well.
Oh, yeah.
Strap right in there.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Yes.
And I just put the little note on it, be in the moment, not on your phone, so you can guilt people.
Okay, good.
by them seeing that, with a little smiley face, obviously. But I think it's important to put the phones away. There's so much time for selfies after dinner. Right? So much time. You can skip the turkey food pick for one meal.
Yeah,
and
you
just
don't need to
enjoy each
photograph
other's
the
company.
food. I was going to ask if at some point you can release that so we can take one selfie. Is that okay?
I would say
later
like
on,
after
we just
the
do
dessert, go for it. And plus you've had a little bit of wine at that point, so the selfies get better, right? Way more entertaining, way more entertaining.
Okay, but then talk to each other first.
Exactly. So when it comes to the tablescape, talking to each other is important. So with the centerpiece in particular, you notice that I've kept it very loose, kind of piecey. The candles are the only visual interest in terms of height, but everything else is really nice and low. And all I've done when we talk about the simplicity, because we want the host to enjoy Thanksgiving as well and not be caught up on all the fine details, some produce from Whole Foods.
Nice.
I just went and the beautiful artichokes, some nice gourds, some fresh figs. You can reuse and repurpose all of these in the kitchen afterwards or for decor around the house, but it's truly simplicity. And also simplicity with the tablescape. You'll notice I actually ditched the white tablecloth, which most people would think is very traditional. I always think of fall as being harvesty, warm, the rich woods. If you have a beautiful rich wood table, why not make it naked and show it off, right? Strip it down, because there's something really rich about that. So now when it comes to the table setting, the actual placemat, I love that you've just picked this up. This I adore. I think this is beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? These were so inexpensive. These were under $10 each from LT, which I thought just beautiful. I would even love to see those pinned up on a wall. Imagine
These are gorgeous. They're like little works of art all around the table.
Exactly. So again, so simple, but that elegant detail. And now it comes to setting the table. Now, how often throughout the course of the year do you actually set a formal dinner table?
I do. I mean, for a regular night, it's a fork and a knife.
Right? Which is most people.
And a plate and a plastic cup for the kids. It's very fancy up in our house.
Well, and because of that, I think it can be a little bit daunting for some people when it comes to setting the actual formal table. Where does the fork go? How many forks do you need? How many knives do you need? Now, you can Google all you want and look at every combination, but the reality is, don't put cutlery down that you're not going to use to eat. So if you look online and it says a seafood fork and you're not serving seafood, you probably don't need it. Don't get caught up on the details. So think through the courses when you're planning your table setting. Now, because it's so daunting, I came up with a little...
You're gonna help us out?
I'm gonna call this table settings for dummies or table settings for my husband. Because he actually saw this yesterday and he was like, this is genius. Right? So simple.
That is so smart.
So, the idea with the table setting is you want to leave about 2 feet of elbow room space for your setting. So watch this. We
Not
can
that your
place this
elbows
down.
will ever be on the table.
Right? Never, never.
Never.
So you place this down, and now I'm going to start to pass you, and literally, we can set
Oh,
this
this
up
is great.
so simply.
So everything's marked here. You see the outline, but she's actually got a label for every single thing.
Every single thing.
So, hey, the plate goes here.
Now, the bread plate,
Yes.
this is one thing, because a lot of us, it's carb season, right?
Yes.
Bread, well, every season
All
is
year
carb
round,
season.
girl.
The bread plate goes at the top. If you were serving salad, that would just go down to the side, but we're going to place it up at the top.
I
I'm
remember
going to-
BMW, bread,
Yes.
meal, water.
That's exactly
Because
it.
every time I go to an event, someone takes the wrong bread.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm
Or
always
the wrong
telling
water
myself,
glass.
or the wrong water glass.
Absolutely,
So it's
that happens.
BMW.
BMW, and actually I've got another little tip if I put this down. If you hold your fingers like this,
Okay.
one makes the the B for bread, and one makes the D for drinks. So when you look at the table, you
Yes.
always know which side is which.
Why is that harder for me?
D and drink, right? On
Yes.
either side. So I'm going to help you lay a few pieces
So
here. I'm
dessert
going to give you some
spoon.
cutlery.
We've got the dinner fork, the salad fork usually work from the outside in.
Soup spoon, because of
Soup
course
spoon,
it's fall
teaspoon.
harvest season. The napkin goes in the corner. We're going to be serving some butternut squash
Ooh,
soup,
very
right?
nice. So we've
And
got
the
soup.
knife. This is one thing that I find people often make the mistake, including myself.
Yes.
And Massimo, lovely Massimo from the show, actually taught me a trick.
Okay.
That it always needs to point towards your plate. And the way you remember that is you wouldn't want to stab your neighbor.
That's right.
Right? So you
it's
always
very
face
rude
the
to
edge
have
in.
the pointy part, the
Very
edge
rude.
facing outward.
Exactly. And if you are doing bread, placing the bread knife up at the top. And then, of
Right.
course, we need wine, right?
Yeah, bring it
So,
on.
The order typically goes the water goblet at
Yeah.
the top. You've got your white, and in between goes your red.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
And they can go on a nice diagonal.
Yeah.
Some people cluster them at the top, but then it can
Yeah.
get quite busy up around the top portion here.
Okay.
So putting them in order this way works really, really nicely. The other thing is I've noticed that I've shorted you a dessert fork.
Thank you.
Oftentimes people forget which way they go on top. Think about how the formal place setting is done.
Yeah.
Forks are on the left,
Yeah.
spoons are on the right. So the way you place them on the top would be the way that they come to the side during the dessert course.
Oh, I
see. how you
see.
lift it from the left
Yes.
hand and the right.
That
so
makes
very,
sense.
very simple.
Okay, really good. So
Now
everybody
watch
make
this.
one of these at home.
Because then what you can do, if I don't move everything around, is we can lift this up and dun dun
You got
dun.
it.
There's our
And
plate
we've
setting
got
done.
the perfect plate setting. Gorgeous. And you know, we haven't gone over the top with the formality,
No,
but this is a
simple.
really good rules, and rules are meant to be broken, but it's good
Absolutely.
to know why it's like this, and
You
then you
bet.
do what you want, Leanne. Good stuff.